Come over here. Let me talk to you real close.
Hey, um, I'm doing a Anna game plan tutorial. As y'all see by the title. Before I get into this game plan tutorial, I want to state that I will be doing a follow-up to the Nina game plan tutorial because the overwhelming response it got. Now, when I say overwhelming and I give y'all these numbers, you may not say that, but if you look at my views and everything, it's more of a response than what I thought. So I only have 80 subscribers, but that Nina tutorial guide for the game for her game plan is almost at 200 views. There's been a lot of Discord discussions about that in other channels. I mean, in other servers. Excuse me, not mine, but other people's servers. A lot of discussion about it on people's streams on Twitch, and it was some things that I noted in the conversation, and I'm gonna do a little quick follow up on that. And lastly, what I want to state before I get into this game plan, I know this game been out for like 15 years. I'm joking, but it's been out for a long time. And if you are interested in doing content creating, I would say go ahead and do it. People still love this game, and people love hearing perspectives from other people who they can tell or they know main specific characters or at least sub-specific characters. If you're on this channel a lot, this is my Tekken channel, you see only Anna and Nina. So quite naturally, since it's kind of known I do that, which is main both the characters. When I speak up and I say, you know, this is a game plan when I'm trying to play solid, people listen and people want like multiple different opinions about approach of using a character. And even though you may have think there's nothing you can say that hasn't been said before, you'd be shocked. You'll probably still, you more than not probably, you will get used. Just promote it, standard. And yeah. So let's get into this Anna game plan here. So when utilizing Anna online in these tournaments, whether they're online and now offline, and I'm doing this because TWT is coming up, and I know a lot of people like Anna because between the two Williams sisters, Anna plays Tekken 7 better than Nina. Nina plays Tekken better than Anna. But we're in Tekken 7, and so you want to, you naturally for like a first to two, first to three, you want to go for the character that plays Tekken 7 the best. But they hit a wall with her, and I think the wall with her is developing an overall neutral. So let's discuss that. Let's discuss her pokes. Um, 1-2 jab. Like Nina, Anna does suffer from jab range issues, but it's a standard jab. Well, wait, hold on, y'all. I was doing something else earlier. She has a down for 1, down for 1-2 like Nina's. The difference is the string mix-ups. That's a high. That's the mid. And the mid cancels in the CGM. Everybody knows this. Generic down 4. That low is cheap. It is launch punishable on block. As we all know, this is a good mid button. And I'll get into this in a minute. So the biggest issue they have with her main mid poke, which is down for 1, which you will find when you play Anna, is that it does not track. Even though it is a good down forward 1 on block, it just does not track. So let's set Kazuya here to do a stand guard, and then we're going to set him to sidestep whichever comes first. And as you can see, you know, it don't track. See? And as you saw right there, the extension, which is a high, it tracked. This is why you will see people sidestep duck Anna. A lot of people think it's kind of not necessarily telegraphed to do it. They think it's kind of like people are committing to it, thinking that it's gonna beat everything that Anna does, or any character that you're playing that is weak to a sidestep duck. Doesn't matter the direction. We're gonna sidestep. Yeah, see, it doesn't track. What they want you to do with this character is they don't want you to stop moving in terms of like lateral movement, which is sidestepping. Um, the reason being is that because they know you have to play neutral with this character, and they know that your main low poke is launch punishable. So if you're constantly, moving, doing a jab, you're moving. This is pressure. She has sidestep moves that are, this is pressure. That's pressure. The whole reason they want you to do this is so when they try to sidestep out of your pressure because they know you have weak tracking, that down forward four will hit them. And that sidestep direction duck won't work if you're constantly sidestepping into the down forward one. So that'll throw them off, and that'll force them to not play one person Tekken versus your Anna, but to play Tekken, you have to pay attention to what I'm doing. You can't autopilot. People go really far with this character with subtle sidesteps into your pokes. Or you can be very Anna and do like a sidestep launcher, or sidestep into a homing move. Why would you do that? Well, because it's Anna. Especially that homing move. It's notorious for phasing right through people, but it works well when you sidestep. But yeah, nice little sidestep into it, whatever poke you want to do. This does leave you susceptible to get like launched if they got your timing right, or eating pokes when you think you're going to sidestep them. So I would just pay attention to what your opponent is doing, and knowing when to sidestep jab. Sidestep jab is really good. Sidestep down for one. So that they won't move so much. It will when they do sidestep you, it will be you kind of didn't really expect it, and now you got to figure out how to defend it, which is the kind of Tekken you want to play. You don't want to play a Tekken where people are autopiloting against you and it's working. So but yeah, for her pokes, just remember, keep moving. Don't block too much. Of course, pay attention to what people are doing. It doesn't matter, especially if they get hit, because a lot of people like to sidestep after getting hit. That down 4-4 will stop them from sidestepping, and that down 2, this little annoying little 16 frame mid poke. That's I think it's +1 on block now. So I set him to guard all. Yeah, +1 on block. This little annoying poke right here, along with that. That should keep them locked down. And for this, let me, so you can get a better understanding what I mean by like little sidestep pokes. Let me switch to Kazuya here. Let's go to Kazuya. So y'all can see where the subtle movements, and why with Anna you need them. So let's say, we're using Anna here. Let's see, here we go. We're doing this here. Okay. Let's do a sidestep move here. Okay. the direction don't really matter. It does, but it don't. So. There we go, that's what I'm trying to show. See? Ooh, that shouldn't be working. Oh, it's because I didn't do a deep side step, but y'all get the point. And if, wait. I still have to deal with her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do here is you can still sidestep, but you have to sidewalk Anna. You see what I'm saying? You have to force them to play a different game plan. You have to, your opponent has to know how to delay their sidestep timing, which is harder. By doing subtle sidesteps, you force them to do that. And I'm going to get into why you want to force them to do that in a minute. Let's go here, where you don't sidestep. Yep, easy. Easy. I'm crazy. I'm supposed to be blocking this. Oh, wait, no, not Anna having tracking. Let me find out. Not Anna having tracking to the left. Yeah, there we go. That's why you want to do subtle side steps. And oh wait. See? That's how you beat sidestep left or sidestep duck when using Anna. Utilizing the sidestep move, you want to constantly keep moving with the pokes. And this will carry you, this will force your opponent to think, and if they can't really figure a way out, then you win. Let's go back to Anna. So, what we learned is how my approach is to, deal with sidestepping, sidestep ducks, sidewalking. Of course, I mentioned that with down 4-4, or I didn't mention QCF 4, but I mentioned the sidewalk with down 4-4 or QCF 4. You have to just have a read on when you think they're not gonna guard down 4-4. It is a double-edged sword. There's no real way to really tell when it's gonna work, when it's gonna hit, when it's not gonna hit. It just depends on your opponent. But QCF4 is the better tool to use to track sidewalking. It's a nice little mid. It's a nice +7. What I will say that, excuse me, not crash follow up. What I will say that it does is that it forces people to go into her 50-50s. Forcing, that or that. It's always a launcher, which is another big complaint that people have when fighting Anna. They just seem like they just go for launchers all the time. It's mostly because the launchers have range. Obviously, they don't have to worry about whiffing, and obviously in Tekken 7, the launcher is like way more rewarding. But what QCF4 also does is that it evades like really well, like really well, and it tracks really well. Just gonna do a standing arm here, and then we're gonna do a little sidewalk left, whatnot. Yep. It'll evade your little jab, whatever you thought you was gonna do after you block, and sidestep whatever they thought they were gonna do after they block, and sidestep forward, 4-3, 4-3 back. If you feel like they're gonna do like a high, it will evade that. Let's see. Kazuya might not be the best dummy to use, as I don't trust my Kazuya execution. Let's go to Steve. So we can discuss evasion, which being able to evade well is playing Tekken 7 really well. Crushing in Tekken 7, if you notice, really isn't what people go for. They really only go for high crushes. And a lot of times when they think they're high crushing, what they're actually doing is evading. So Steve to do. See, evades it really well. I think the only catch-22 with QCF2 is that if you playing against someone who can block it and punish it, more most importantly punish. It is -12, so that means Ling has a good punish for it. I think Fang definitely has a good punish for it. Nina can punish it. Lee can punish it. The big characters can punish it. So it's way more. It's a good handful. I want to say it's like 12 characters, 12 to 13 characters that can punish. Not that. QCF4. So just keep that in mind. I think that's fair because all the coverage it does, it tracks really well to track people who sidewalk and sidestep, and it evades really well. And it being at +7 on hit. So here I was mentioning a lot of people when they evade with QCF4, they like to, instant. You can just do that instead, or not that. Why am I getting? There we go. A little sidestep. Down 4-1. A little sidestep. A little sidestep down 4-4, or crouch cancel down 4-4. There's other options you can do with your frame advantage or your spacing advantage with QCF4. But let's get off QCF4 and focus on another evasion tool that Anna has that I feel is underutilized, which is QCF2. The reason why I feel like QCF2 is underutilized is because a lot of people, when they approach Anna, they focus on being really safe with the mid-high moves, and they go hard for the lows. To that I say, yeah, I understand why you would do that, because if you're going to be not safe somewhere, it would be her lows, because her lows are very rewarding if you can land them on hit. But this move right here, it just, again, it evades really well, if I recall. Wait, no. This is actually true evasion and not high crushing, because that's this is the downside of it. It won't evade highs, but however, it will close in space. So for this, if you know they're going to, people like to fight air when they're at like range, like 3. You can challenge what they're going to do with QCF 2, and you cover space. If you look at, look at that. You can delay it forever, and you can cover around range 3, closing the gap with QCF2. It is linear. I believe it's linear to her. I think it's linear to her left, because I think if I'm not mistaken, her QCF1 tracks sidestep left, but it's weak to sidestep right, and QCF2 is the exact opposite here. So let's do sidestep right here. Let's do step guard. Yep.
Yeah.
And let's do sidestep left. Oh, not sidestep left. Was it sidewalk left? Let's see. Okay. That's what it was. So it's weak to sidewalk left, but it tracks sidewalk right. And versus can I not? There we go. QCF1 will whiff on sidewalk right, but it'll track sidewalk left. So you see, you're catching by mixing up your evasion between QCF1 and QCF2, you're catching the sidestepping. So they really have to commit, and not just you're always going to evade with QCF1, or you're always going to evade with 443, which does track sidestep left. But you can delay it a little bit. You can hit it on sidestep right, where it's supposed to be weak to. But the main point is in utilizing QCF3, in y'all not wanting to get punished by it. This is where you have to gain. Yes, QCF2 on its own is -12 on block, but it has a string follow-up that they need to be wary of. And if you land QCF3 on hit, it is +2. So that means you have way more frame advantage to do her quick moves, 2-1, slap, and the 3. So just utilize that a little bit more. In the game plan is what I would suggest doing for your evasion purposes. Now back to QCF4 on evading. I covered the spacing already. That if they try to retaliate in their character that cannot punish QCF4, that's when you can do like a little sidestep move. Again, subtle sidesteps will carry you a lot with this character. And doing those subtle sidesteps in the moves will help you mix up your game plan a lot. Again, you never want them to know exactly what you're going to do, but in guessing what they're going to do based on like your behavior and collecting data, you should be able to pester and frustrate the opponent enough to where you should win at a pretty successful rate, more often than none. Little side step down for a 1, or a side step down for a 2. You can really only sidestep the direction your up button goes in your D-pad, your stick, or your mix box. You have to cancel it and sidestep the counterclockwise direction before, in order to make it work. If your opponent is going to do a move that doesn't track that way. However, there are other spacing moves that she has. They don't evade, but QCF4 is that rare button that evades, high crushes, and forces spacing. It's a really good move to add, and it's virtually safe. I would say if less than 30% of the cast can punish it, then and the other 70%, more than 70% can't punish it, it's a good move to throw out. But getting on into spacing with actual spacing moves that you can utilize and really abuse, this move right here, it's high and it jails. So let's set Steve to crouch guard to make sure he ducks. Wait, no. Stand guard. And crouch guard,
Yeah.
How'd I do this? That should work, actually. What I'm trying to get y'all here to say is that it jails. It does. It jails. So, yeah, that'll work if it doesn't jail, right? Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm slow. So, stand hard. There we go. Okay, yeah. I'm slow, y'all. Excuse me. So it jails. Look at wait. Look at the spacing it creates. So after this, you land this move. Sidestep button if you know they're gonna retaliate with buttons because they just don't understand the move. Little sidestep down 4-2. Sidestep down 4-4, or sidestep 2 if you know they're gonna press. And you can actually get the counter hit animation. There you go. If you just want to utilize this move more because they did buff it, air quote. By creating this spacing, you are forcing a potential whip punishment, and also with her spacing moves, if you can get a window in there to use them, and let's just say you're getting exposed, you're getting downloaded, they get your timing right by doing these spacing moves. You're essentially back in the neutral, and so you have time to, like, you know, backdash, get out the way, you know, refocus, get your game plan going. 4-2-3 is really good for spacing because it's safe. You're only -7, so you can actually free to move and do your, like, sidestep button or backdash button if they retaliate. Her other safe move to do to create spacing is back 4, but you don't get as much spacing, and you are -9, so a little bit more minus, but still, you know, do your sidestep button or side walking if they're going to overcommit to the button, so you can do your backdash into your button with whichever you choose to. Her other spacing moves are minus on block, but the spacing that they create means that only Biggs and Steve can punish it. So down 4-3-3-3, it jails. It's also a mid, starting up mid. You see that spacing right there? You can literally do the same thing, but you have to go for faster buttons. I would say, you know, the down 4-1, the jab.
Yeah.
You might be able to get a sidestep down 4-2 if they overcommit to, like, a down 4-1 or something like that. QCF 3-3, it does create some space. It does recover way slower. So you have to do even faster moves. So this is only, you know, sidestep jabs or sidestep down 4-1 right here. So by mixing up your game plan and doing these spacing moves and forcing whiffs, I think it's necessary to throw out, not, you know, overly spam it, because this is high and they can just commit to a hard duck and then launch you forward. This here, that becomes really telegraphed. So is this. This is slow. You could risk getting counter hit, as fastest you can get it come out is 20 frames. But like I said, it's good to mix up and throw out a little spacing move every now and again just to see how your opponent reacts to that. And by doing the spacing move, you can easily, not easily, but you can pretty much confirm a whiff punish by paying attention. Speaking of punishment, let's go into, let's switch from Steve, and let's go into, let's see. I'm trying to think on who I should use here. Let's use let's use Master. I was trying to think of a character that has a -14 move that isn't Jack, because a lot of people just automatically go to Jack. So I had mentioned using QCF4 to like force the mix-ups, right? But one way to force mix-ups is with her punishment, and everybody knows about 2-3 back. But if you want to really check if your opponent actually knows Anna, of course, that's exactly what I want to gain. They do like something -14 or -15 with pushback, and you can't punish it. Down 4-3-1 back. It'll throw him off. It'll be something they at least expect. Because it's a different animation, everybody knows that, and most people will just challenge that anyway. The difference here is you're throwing him off with a different move. It doesn't matter that it is also is -3 on hit. What matters is that you're letting them know, like, hey, I have other moves I can punish you with that will transition into CJM. So are you really familiar with Anna? And everybody does this. Don't feel bad for doing this. Everybody has like little knowledge checks here and there. You know, do it. It'll mix them up. It'll get them frustrated. It will also force them to think a little bit more because they're not seeing the same move. Why did that punish? There we go. Same thing. If it's -14 or -15 with pushback, down 4-3-1 back. If it's -14 with no pushback, you can do down 4-1-2 into CJM. Most people are accustomed to down 4-1-2 into CJM, down 4-3-1 back into which cancels into CJM, and not necessarily used to. It is a knowledge check, and it is forcing a mix-up if you so choose to want to do that. Let's pick on Nina for a minute. Let's switch stages. Actually, let's go back to character stuff entirely. And let's pick on Nina for a minute because Anna has also more obscure punishment. Actually, no. Let's pick on Paul. Because, Anna players, we hate Paul. Paul is just a good counter pick for Anna. He just destroys Anna. You have to be so much of a better Anna player. You have to be so much of a better Tekken player to win versus a good Paul. With Anna, it's just ridiculous. So let's go to the wall here. And yeah, not switch positions. There we go. So, let's do the action. He doesn't have to finish it. I just need to do that low. So, We all know Anna's punishment is iffy at best. It's really not that good. A lot of things her 2-3 back doesn't reach. But what I would suggest start utilizing is her wall bounces to punish staggered lows. The reason being, when your opponent's like back is out the wall, they'll do pretty much anything to get out that wall. They'll go for a low, they'll go for a launcher, anything. But if you have a read, they're going to do that low. Like, that is minus, Y'all get the point. Wait, that's not a high wall spread? Like, I'm just doing it over and over again so y'all can see. You know, it's a Punisher. And I'm doing the wall standing 2 again so you can see that you don't get a wall splat, which deals more damage if you get a wall splat. Wait. You see how that did more damage? It's something, you know, really, it's like the sky is the limit because their back just has to be close enough to the wall. Let's go to repeat action again. Let's do this. Oh wait. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like easy mode, little 63 damage. Just remember that sometimes, like, be aware of where the wall, because most of the stages in Tekken are wall stages. Be aware of where the wall is, and you know, go for it. You know, worst thing is you just don't get the wall. You know, go for it. You go for it, you get a cool punish. You know, that'll get them shaken up. They be like, what the fuck? Like, Anna can punish with a wall bounce. You know, that is giving them drag vibes. You know, go for it. For real. Like. No. That's the move. No. There we go. Also, Anna's while standing punishment. Yeah. And for this, we don't have to be at the wall for this. Let's go back to the default so you can see this. This is also something that's kind of like a what the fuck. Because you do that and you see, wait. Are they gonna get up quick after that? More than likely. Minus 14 lows that leave you close on block. After you block them, you can punish it with up 4-4. Same thing with minus 15 lows, all the way up to minus 17 lows. If they leave you close on block, you can punish it with her full crouch up 4-4, which is the big somersault. Here's a knockdown, and they have to wake up versus Anna. If they stay on the ground, you know, you get a free 4-2. And so if you look at the damage, oh wait. Oh, it's on neutral guard. Let's take a stand and let's just put it on stand. 55 damage on a I-14 Punisher. Pretty much guaranteed they have to know you're gonna do full crouch 4-2. Most people versus Anna, because they know when Anna gets a knockdown, if they wake up, they have to wake up to a 50-50. Most people will just stay on the ground, let you get that free hit so they can tech roll away. Um, you know, it's worth going for it. It's worth, because we know how lackluster this is. We know how lackluster punishing with that is, or punishing with that. We know. Game, you know, go for it. Lab, look at all the characters who have these like -14 to -17 lows that Anna can't launch punish, and you know, not that, but not that. And see with full crouch up 4-4, see what can punish that. You would be surprised, and kind of condition yourself to go for it for sometimes. And that's another way you can force a mix up with Anna, is with her punishment, like I said before, with canceling into a CGM from different moves instead of 2-3 back. And then again, punishing stagger lows with her wall bounce from full crouch, and as well as punishing -14, -17 lows with her full crouch up forward for her big somersault. Add that into it, because it'll mess people up. They'll be like, what is that? I didn't know Anna could punish with that. It'll throw them off a little bit. It's like a, you know, a what the fuck moment. And another way enforcing mix-ups, because a lot of people, you know, they say Anna just, you know, ducks in your face, and everybody knows that her full crouch mix-up is weak to side walk left. But if you just delay it, you know, you'll still get your full crouch move. So that'll let them know they have to sidestep left guard, or sidestep left duck, or sidestep left backdash to try to get out of range of a full crouch mix-up. You can also do, like, you know, a little hesitation movement right there to force the mix up if you actually need to go for a full crouch mix up right there. Also, this is like the greatest punisher for strings that ends in highs. You don't have to worry about if they can block it, or if your wild standing 2 is like way too slow, you can just do full crouch down for a 2. That'll force people to have to fight your Anna differently. And the last thing I want to talk about is execution. So a lot of people think that you don't need execution with Anna. I think you do. The better player you play, and I know it's been said time and time again, no one cares about beginner intermediate level, and the reason why no one cares about beginner intermediate level, because you have to learn the game first. There's all these tutorials out here on how to play these characters, your block punishment, there's frame data, there's a punishment feature, punishment training in practice mode. You just have to figure out how to play the game. But when it comes to like higher level Tekken, or like tournament level Tekken, that's kind of where I'm speaking to. So you need execution with Anna. That is my personal opinion. And where you will need it with is her pokes that deal mini combos. So let's just set it, most people who main Anna will tell you, you know, this move here is kind of useless because it doesn't deal damage. However, it's plus 19, so with execution, that'll count as a combo. As you can see, it's insanely hard. I'm purposely messing up to show you it's insanely hard. Usually I would have landed it by now. But So you can't get a launcher right there consistently because it really is hard. But you get a free knockdown.
Yeah.
If you land it close to the wall, you can get a free wall bounce. Let's put it back in. Again, this is just knowing your overall placement on the stage at any time. You know, that's a free wall bounce. You can deal damage like that, right? So booty, wall bounce, pretty much guaranteed. Or for some characters, you just have to lab. Paul isn't one of them, but you can get down forward 3-4 for a wall sweat.
Yeah.
Or if your execution is there, you can get quarter circle forward 3-2 and get like 39 damage at the wall. It just depends on the player you are. Of course, at the wall, this will never work consistently.
Yeah.
You have to be really close to your opponent for it to work. If you hit it at like tip range, it's gonna whiff. So, no matter the range, the wall bounce at the wall will work. And you have to be close at the wall, I believe, to get. And do forward 3-2 as well. This is a very good counter tool. It really is. And you can also do this move out of stance. I have my inputs on. Most people will say it's a just frame. To me, I think it's just a perfect stance cancel into. And as you can see, you can get the launch easier because it's plus 24 instead of plus 19. That in itself makes it really good to go for from time to time again. Again, once you understand how your opponent is approaching you and you know where they want to mash buttons at, this shove is really good. From her stance, just raw stance. Oh, I didn't mention. Her shove is easier to do after down for one back. Wait. After QCF 3-2. It's possible to do it after 4-4-3 back. I just did it. But that's hard. I excel pretty well with execution stuff. That's hard to get that. It's kind of impossible to do after 2-3 back. 2-3 back, rightfully so, because you're like plus 8. And it's hard to do off wild second 3 because you're like plus 8. It's not impossible, it's just really hard to do. And you can do it after down for 3-1 back pretty easily, just as easy as you can do it from down for 1 back and QCF 2-1 back. I never thought to do it after 4-3 back, and it seems difficult. Probably because you're plus 4, so they designed it like that to make it harder to do it the more plus you are. But it's something to just note and do. And as you know, because that's like plus 19, you can do Rage Art for free, and because the stance version is it's also plus 10 on normal hit. So I think if you're at the wall, nah, it ain't that cheap. Somebody was probably just neutral guarding, but where was I getting that? With the shove, yeah, it's plus 6 on hit, it's plus 1 on block, and if you land it on counter hit, no matter what variation, you can get Rage Art, and it's easier to do Rage Drive if you land it from stance. So that's just insanely good. It's an easy way to deal damage, and it just takes some practice. Also from stance, her slap is really good because and with that follow up, your floor breaks, You get a full combo, and you get close to 100 damage combo if you can get the wall after the floor break. We all know versus waifus is in like higher level, it's not good to do that, but you still get good damage if you do booty. 4-2-3. Or you want to be annoying and do down 4-3-2-3. Or you want to do a knockdown attack. You see there's still 47 damage you dealt right there. So just understanding the pokes that deal a lot of damage and getting the execution barrier behind it, you'll get way more out the character, and you'll also make your opponent get off autopilot with the like, a lot of people like the fuzzy duck Anna. Like I said, the sidestep ducks, the sidewalks. This will make people think and pay attention to what you're doing, because you know that one poke that you landed, that did a lot of damage. What else with execution is her combo execution. So let's switch sides here. I don't want to switch stage. I just want to switch sides. And wall. We all know season 4 got this 5% HP buff and a wall damage nerf. So of course with combo execution, you're going to get more out the camera, you're going to deal more damage, and they're more likely to die. So you don't have to guess a mixed up if they wake up on you in rage. So we all know, let's choose her down for 2. Anna's down for 2 is now 15 frames. We all know this, and it does 13 damage. It used to do 16 damage, but it was also I-16. So that was 64 damage. That's good and cute, but this is 64 damage off of down for 2 that can large crouch. That's kind of not good. It's kind of not. You know, it's kind of not. So by doing her QCF1 routes, which is what I suggest you staple, you'll deal more damage, and you'll have more fun with the character, because you won't always have to guess rage. Another 6 damage. It was a 5% HP buff. That's dead. That was the difference between life and death. As far as like wall carry, again with execution, you get more out the character. I got the wall, you got the point. But you can see I was getting ready to like an 80 damage combo there. It's worth it, as you can see. And the reason why I choose this stage all the time for like labbing and when I want to discuss things is because most of the times when your back is at the wall, or where you think you're far, not when your back is at the wall, when you think you're far away from the wall, you're really about the distance of the length of this stage, or the distance of the length of Souk. That's pretty much how far you are away from the wall most of the time. So if you can get to the wall on this stage and on Souk, once you set it to respawn to the wall and then switch sides, if you can get to the wall, that's a good combo. You pretty much won't have to ever worry about getting the wall in this iteration of Tekken 7 with these wall carry moves. I believe the only execution that you need for her long carry moves is getting the timing on her dash while running 3+4-2. Now her while running 3+4-2 is the same as It's the YouTube curse, y'all. I don't have execution no more. But yeah, as you see right here, let me move my mouse. Right there. You saw I did a little wild running move, dash into a forward, 3 plus 4, 2, and it's like I said, it's the same thing as that. Just it's really awkward timing. What you want to do is as soon as soon as your one jab hits for like the wall carry, you want to do your instant wall running then, and then just before your opponent hits the ground, you want to do your wall running 3 plus 4 2, and you'll get it pretty much every time if you look at those visual cues. And also, you're better than me, and you have a 3 plus 4 button bind, so you won't. And the reason why I'm not getting y'all, because I'm just too slow. There we go. There we go. 87 damage. There we go. All because I learned the execution barrier or skill to get her wild running 3 plus 4 2. That's all you need to land that. Of any launcher, her 4.3, her wild standing 2. Doing that will get you the wall at Souk. If you're talking about wall to wall, but that in itself, the damage justifies it. You get the wall, and your opponent dies sooner rather than later, so you don't have to guess a mix-up when they're in rage. Another execution barrier is doing a sidestep left into wild standing 3 back on her crumple stun counter hit launchers. Notoriously her dick punt. So and that almost got the wall. And we all know about her roll 3. It's annoying. High crushes. Sometimes it mid crushes. And I'm having there we go. And that gets the wall. And that already did like 82 damage. Also, her while standing 2 float now, and it's the same thing you do. You can kind of look at her while standing 2 as a replacement for QCF1. No, you don't. That works, I promise you it does. If you're one of those Ana players that throw out up for 1 and then delay 3 to get the counter hit, that is a wall carry option to look at. I also have wall carry option videos on my channel. I will link some of them. But as far as combo execution, that's really it with Ana. It's her jab, it's wild running 3 plus 4 2, and her wild standing 3 into stance cancel, a perfect stance cancel into down for 1, which is a QCF1. With that, you'll get everything and more out of the character if you're able to do that. Staple it if you're able to staple how to force her mix-ups, again with understanding the string repetition, with knowledge checks, and switching it for timing and your hesitation. I would also highly suggest you guys implement that. That's the one. I would also highly recommend that you guys implement her her wall bounce to start to punish stagger lows. Because you can't beat it. As well as her somersault, her full crouch up for 4 to punish minus 14 to minus 17 lows. Just practice that, and you will see that character transform. Her spacing tools, her 4-2-3, her down 4-3-3-3, her QCF 4, her back 4, and her QCF 3-3. As far as spacing, utilize those when need be. Her evasion tools, you already know about QCF 1. You know about 4-4-3 for evading. Don't forget about QCF 2. And again, mentioning QCF 4 as it is a spacing tool, it also evades really well. And its evasion, once it's blocked, leads to a good transition in spacing as well as on hit. And then as far as her neutral, which is what you'll be doing most of the time, sidestep into quick pokes. Never stop moving when you want to pressure with this character. Subtle sidesteps in her neutral will carry you far beyond what you thought. It would with this character. So those are my game plan notes. Again, hopefully you learned something. If you want to reach out, I do have a Discord. I will link that down below. Any more Anna information, I will post a link to Mixups' channel, as he's the biggest Anna content creator on YouTube. And there you will see punishment guides as well as some gameplay from different levels of players, just to get an idea of a game plan with Anna. And yeah, see y'all.
Represent. Good win, player.
My pleasure.
You dig?